Hi everyone and welcome to Tech Genius Studio. In this lecture, we are going to start our Java programming series. And in this series, we are going to cover the basics of coding and understand what is a code and how to program and the basic input-output variables needed for programming and data types and conditional statement, loops and all the basic things will be covered in this series. So please stay with us and keep watching our videos till the end, and please subscribe our channel so that we could upload more interesting videos on programming and coding. So let's understand that what is a code. So basically, whenever we are talking to each other, actually we are giving some set of instructions to them. And that set of instructions can be in English or in any other language. But how do we give some instructions to a computer, or how do we talk to a computer or a laptop or a mobile phone? How do we talk to them? Can they understand the language we are talking in? Or can they understand the English language that we are talking? So they do not understand the human language. So for making the computers to understand what are we saying, so we have to talk in their language. For example, they understand binary language. But why binary or 0 and 1? So the reason is that computer is an electrical device, and when the current is passed through the circuit, it is represented with 1, and when there is no current in the circuit, it is represented with 0. Therefore, it is zeros and it is a combination of zeros and ones. Or similarly, we can say that when device detects high voltage, we represent it with 1, and when device detects low voltage, we represent it with the 0. So similarly, we can represent the 0 of decimal number with 0 in binary. That is, the decimal 1 can be represented with 1, the decimal 3 can be represented with 1 1, decimal 4 can be represented with 1 0 0, and so on. So again, the question is that how do we represent ABCD or the special characters? They all can be represented with zeros and 1. So you might get confused that how do we convert them all in few times or in less times. It will take very much time. So there comes high-level language, and in high-level languages there are Java, C++, Python and many more languages. In our case, we will study Java. So we code in Java language, and there is a compiler inside the computer which is converting the Java language into 1 and zeros or binary language. So here begins our coding journey, in which we are going to start the coding in Java language. Now you might get confused that how do we code it in Java language and what type of a language is it? So to understand the basic to understand the concept of a coding, so we can take the real life example. For example, if I want to boil some eggs for the breakfast, so there are some procedures to follow that. For example, first I will start it and take some input. For example, take some eggs and water, that will be our input, and turn on the stove, which is the process of that, and put a vessel on the stove and add water and the eggs on the vessel while eggs are boiled. So there will be the condition that if the eggs are boiling, while eggs are boiling, there will be a condition that are the eggs boiled or not. If yes, it is boiled, so we will turn off the stove and serve. And if it is not boiled, we will keep boiling it until it is boiled. So, and then when it is boiled, then we will turn off this stove and serve it. So the last step will be exit. Now this, in programming, this chart is called the flow chart, and this is called the pseudocode. So similarly, we can do it, we can make the flow chart as for calculating some two numbers, for example, for adding some two number. So how do we do that? Is start and take two numbers for as an input, and then sum it, number 1 plus number 2, then print the sum and then exit. So for pseudocode, we'll say number 1, step 1 is start, then input two numbers, then step 3 is calculate sum, which will be equal to number 1 plus number 2, then step 4 will be print sum and then exit it. So guys, now you understand how to code and how to give some instructions to a computer. Now for doing this, we need to write a code. Now how to write a code? So for that, we need some Java installations. For example, we need to install some things such as Java Development Kit you will need, and the code editor you will need to install a code editor, and the code editor can be VS Code, IntelliJ or Eclipse. In our case, we use the VS Code. Now for installing Visual Studio Code, you have to go to your Chrome browser and type VS Code, download, and go to this link, which is a website of visualstudiocode.com. So go to download for Windows. Click here, download.
Now installing Java Development Kit.
for making sure that Java is perfectly installed in your system, go to the search bar and go to the command prompt and type Java space version and enter. Now you can see that there is Java installed in my system, and there is Java runtime environment and hotspot bit server, and now I'm sure that Java is installed in my system. Now the next step is opening Visual Studio Code. Since you have installed Visual Studio Code, so whenever you open Visual Studio Code, this is the main window you can see. So these are my recent files that I have used, and you can start by making a folder and then start coding from there. So from start, I will click on Open Folder, and now in the file I want to save is desktop. Oh, in desktop I will make a new folder. So open this folder. Now as you can see that this folder is created and now is opened. So for making a new file, click on this new file, and let's say first class. I will make a file by the name first class dot Java. Now this is the Java file. Now for making a Java, our first code, you have to write public class first class This is the shortcut form of system.out.println. Now inside the braces we will write hello world. So this is the word that I want to print. So just save it. Now run Java. Now you can see that the hello world is now print. So I can write here my name as well, or for example the channel name is Tech Genius Studio. So save it and run it again. Now you can see that it is Tech Genius Studio is printed. Now let me explain what each line does. So basically public class first class is, this line declares a new class called hello world, and the public class access modifiers means that the class can be accessed from outside of the package, and public static void main string args, and this braces this line declares that the main method, which is the entry point of the program, the public access modifier means that the method can be called from outside the class, and the static keyword means that the method can be called without creating an instance of the class. The string args parameters. The string args parameter represents the command line arguments passed to the program, and the third line, which is system.out.println hello world. This line uses the system.out object to print this string hello world to the console, followed by a new character. This line closes the main method, and this line closes the hello world class. So to compile and run this code, save this code, save it in a file, and then compile it and run it. And that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed learning about the Java programming, and practice is the key. So be sure to try out some exercises on your own. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Java tutorials. See you in the next video. Thank you.